Is your podcast earning its keep? Welcome back to the Podcast Why. I'm Brett Johnson, my podcast guy, your trusted friend in podcasting. This show is here to help you reconnect with the real why behind your podcast so you can keep showing up with clarity and confidence. We've covered a lot of ground this season. We've talked about the mindset shift from creative project to business asset. We've defined the business problem your podcast should be solving. We've looked at the metrics that matter, the bridge to your email list, intentional episode planning, and the systems that keep you from burning out. Now it's time to bring it all together and ask the question that I ask every client I work with at least once a year. Is your podcast earning its keep? This isn't a question designed to make you feel bad about your show. It's a question designed to give you clarity, because clarity is the one thing that separates the podcasters who grow from the podcasters who grind without going anywhere. An honest audit of your podcast performance run against the goals you've set is one of the most valuable things you can do for your business. Here's how I walk clients through this. It's simple and it's direct. Start with your business problem statement from episode 2. The specific friction your podcast is meant to address. Does your content still point to it clearly? Or has the show drifted? Drift is common and normal, but it needs to be caught and corrected. Next, pull the 2 or 3 metrics you identified in episode 3. What do they actually show? Are they trending in the right direction? If you haven't been tracking them yet, now is when you start. And the baseline you set today becomes your comparison point 90 days from now. Then look at your bridge. Is your email list growing from podcast-driven traffic? Are your calls to action consistent and specific? Are people crossing the bridge, or is it sitting there unused? And finally, ask yourself the hardest question. If I listed out the concrete ways my podcast has contributed to my business in the last 6 months, new subscribers, warmer leads, better sales conversions, increased visibility, stronger authority, would that list justify the time and energy I'm investing? I've worked with podcasters who ran this audit and felt genuinely proud of what they found. And I've worked with others who found significant gaps. Not reasons to quit, but reasons to recalibrate. Both outcomes are valuable. Here's what I want you to take away from this season. Your podcast has the potential to be one of the most powerful business tools you have. Not because it reaches the most people, it probably won't, but because it builds the right kind of trust at scale over time in a way that almost no other medium can match. A listener who has spent 6 hours with your voice and your ideas is not a cold lead. They're a warm relationship. But that potential only becomes reality when the show is built with intention, when you know what problem it solves, what success looks like, how it connects to the rest of your business, and how to keep producing it without burning out. That's what this season has been about. And if any of these episodes have raised questions about where your show stands or where you would want it to go, that's exactly the conversation I'd love to continue with you directly. You can book a clarity call with me. Just head over to my podcast guy online and look for the Book a Clarity Call link. We'll map your podcast why to your business and your business to your podcast so it all feels coherent. Thanks for listening to Podcast Why. I'm Brett Johnson, my podcast guy. This has been season 4 of the Podcast Why, and I'll talk to you next season.